So today, I just want to talk a little bit about Counter-Strike skins to you guys. So I want to tell you what this is about. So, a normal person with a job, credit card, and savings account, and what would they buy? And when they buy with their real money a virtual hunting knife that only exists in one video game, well, and they'll never even hold this knife and never sharpen it, never give it to anyone. It's basically like a pixel art, and it costs them well, hundreds and thousands of dollars. And well, that actually happens. There's collectors that comes from everywhere that buys these virtual items for up to $1 million. And I just want to show you that. So, what is this talk going to be about? Um, so we're going to talk about how this game turned into uh, of luxury goods market. Why the big and why? Because the float, the patterns, the stickers, there's like a language to this. Basically, like stocks and NFTs, and who buys this type of stuff, and what the future is moving towards. So, what even is Counter Strike? So, Counter Strike is a 5 versus 5 first person shooter game. It's one of the it's one of the first multiplayer first shooter games to ever gain popularity, and to many people it feels like chess, and it's very old, 27 years, has peak of 100,000 players, and it has been in this form since 1999, and all the maps stay constant. We have the same maps, the same guns, and the only thing that really changes is the quality of things. We move from the original Source engine to Source 2, and the game feels newer. And that's just what. So, and the important thing is that, although that people buy these skins, they don't actually change the way the game works. They don't shoot straighter, they don't reload faster. All they do is they look cooler, and that's what the skins are all about. And we're gonna go on to talk about why they cost so much, and why people pay so much for them. Okay. So, what happened is on August 14th, 2013, Valve releases the ARM Deals update. That's the single most important update in Counter-Strike history, and because it was first of all it was skins, and there was hundreds of them, and 10 themed collections such as Assault, Office, Nuke, Militia, Inferno, Vertigo, Aztec, Dust, and we have stock weapons like the M4A1S and the USP. So basically, we started having a marketplace and skins to add to the marketplace. And this is the mechanics that will start working for, the next decade and 3 years, next 13 years. And well, back then you got like keys and skins, and you had keys, which is $2.50. And most of these like weapons were less than the worth of the keys, and all these weapons, well, you pay Valve, and it honestly generated Valve a lot of money. But the reason it was very, very uh, worthwhile is because these skins, well, they had certain rarities, and well, for example, these were the skins, and um, they're not different gun. You don't buy different guns. It's just a reskin version of a gun, and the reason why people buy it is because it's rare and it looks cool. You want your gun to look very cool, so yeah, people buy that because of that. And yeah, and each case. Okay, so how does the case even work? Right. So um, what case? So the cases are you get it from a drop. So every week you get a drop, or back then you get one after a match, and then afterwards, in order to open the case, you need to spend $2.50, and you're required to spend it in order to open. And then after that, it's basically gambling. You you basically it spins, 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 and then after it spins, you get a weapon from the case, and you won't know what skin you would get before you purchase, and then your skin enters the inventory. And as it says over here, well, you don't know what skin you're going to get. It has this fixed pool, which different rarities, and each of them, most of them are worth less of the key. Some of them are worth more, and as it says, some of them are worth a used Honda. For example, well, if you get a good thing from here, well, that's like thousands of dollars. So it does matter. It's either you get something that's not worth anything at all, or something that's worth a lot. Okay, so these are the odds that were published in 2017. So as you can see, it's very, very rare to get something good. So if you get mil spec restricted, well, that you basically lose money. So more than 95% of the chances you lose money, and sometimes a restricted weapon can, you know, you can regain your money from that, but it's really rare. And classified weapons are about 8 times more than the case, and covert are up to 100 times cost, and knife is worth more. But the chances are very, very low. For example, a chance for a knife is 1 in 300 to 400. Um, there's also something called the stat track. The stat track is the 1 in 10, in which you have to 1 in 10, in which you have to um, in which the weapon is able to track the amount of kills you got with it in its lifetime. Yeah, so like a built-in counter. So as you can see, you expect $10,000 in keys to expect one. Very, very rare. And the only reason they disclose this is, well, China has a disclosure law, and that's the reason why some of your favorite gacha games like Genshin Impact always has this type of rarity distribution. Okay, so now we have a rarity ladder. So basically, you can have there's consumer, industrial, mil-spec, restricted, classified, covert, special, and contraband. So basically, each one of them is worth 5 times more rare than the next one. And well, so basically, consumer and industrial, they're basically you get them from drops or you get them from like packages, and the rest you get them from cases. So basically, um, in some cases, it's extremely, extremely rare to get a mil spec because in this shifts down if there's consumer and industrial products. So it's just extremely, extremely, extremely rare. And also contraband, we'll talk about that later. But this is very rare. Rarity ladder is a thing that's yeah. Yeah. Okay. But skins are not the only thing that matter. And skins and rarity are not the only thing that matter. It's also the float. So it's not only that there is different skins, there's also different floats. Each skin is unique from the other. So instead of having, Valorant skins where every skin is the same thing, well, we have floats in Counter-Strike. And what floats are is I'll show you right now. But what floats are basically, um, they're basically okay. So if I search up a skin right now, MP9 Starlight Protector. So if I search for it right now, and okay, okay, so I'll show you what it's like. So if I show here, so each skin looks very different based on the float you have. So for example, the skin, right? Once you change the float, right, the skin looks dirtier and then cleaner and then newer based on the float. And sometimes it's more obvious than the other. For example, you have, well, AWPS MOV, which, well, right here you can see that once you get to battle card, the wear is very obvious. You can see that the wear is very obvious. And some of them are float capped. For example, you saw the Asimov, that's only field tested. It's the best condition that you can get it in. So some of them are very expensive. And one thing about gloves is that the minimum you can get is 0.07. So factory new gloves are very, very rare. They're patterns. So another thing that patterns are is something that patterns is very important. For example, different patterns for the AK-47 case hardened shows a different gun, a different pattern. And the 661 is over $1 million because the odds is 1 in 137 million. And the reason for that is because um, you need to get 1 out of 1,000 patterns, and the factory new is less than 3%. So 3% times 1 in 1,000 plus the rarity that already exists for getting that specific skin is 1 in 137 million for an $100 case. So it's very, very expensive. And the reason why the pattern is so important is because the whole thing is blue. So case harden is usually a pattern between blue and yellow or blue and gold. And this is a pure gold pattern, which is why everybody loves it and why it costs so much money. And we have the Karambit case harden 397, and the play side of it is also entirely blue. So that one is worth around $1.5 million to $2 million, but it's not traded yet. And then there's are some more different patterns. We have Doppler and Karambit Marble Face. So basically, all the skins have some sort of pattern to them. For example, the Karambit family, you have the pattern is everything. So for example, the fade knife, we have the 100% fade, and this as makes the skin like 50% more expensive, which it drives it up to around $20,000 to $10,000, and that's a big premium because the pattern it looks very perfect. And we have sapphire and ruby, which is entirely blue or entirely red, or some if you have emerald, it's entirely green, and those are worth like around $20,000 and like $10,000 ish after the update. And then we have the fire and ice, which is perfectly blue and perfectly blue and red, which is very expensive, $5,000 around. Yes. Okay, so stickers. People use stickers for collection, and the thing is, they're limited, which means if you apply it to a weapon, you can no longer take it off. And basically, what's the difference is that the reason why it's like that is because once you put it on a sticker, it's worth like 5% to 25% of the original value. I mean, the skin will become more expensive, but the sticker value will be gone. And this skin is the Titan Holo Katowice 2014. It's a very rare skin. It was only dropped during 2014, and it cost sticker capsule cost 25 cents when it was released, but now it's more than $30,000. And now this one sticker is cost $85,000 to $150,000, and there's less than 60 unapplied remain globally. So it's very expensive. And iBuyPower Holo is the same thing. Okay. So basically, the reason why these two are very, very expensive is because, first of all, it looks very nice, apparently. So people think that this sticker looks very, very nice. And also because, this team got banned for cheating. One of their members was caught cheating, and what happened later on is that their team fell apart and their team disbanded eventually. Um, and then we have the iBuyPower, which they max fixed by throwing the game and purposely letting the opponent team win because they betted on themselves losing. So that was a big scandal that got them all banned and disbanded for. And yeah, so that's why it's very expensive, and also because people think it looks good. Um, and then we have the AK-47 Nightwish sets for LCLC. So the AK-47 Nightwish doesn't cost that much. It's like pretty much it doesn't cost that much, but just goes to show because an LDLC sticker costs around $40,000 to $60,000. That when you have four of them applied to an AK-47, it raises the price by so much to up to $80,000. So yeah, and then stickers are also pumped up. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. So there's also variants for skins. For example, you have Stat Trek skins, which are 10%, souvenirs, which drop from special packages, and then you have charms and keychains, which recently got added in October 2014, and uh, there's more charms later on. Yeah. Okay. So now we have. So this is the timeline for all the operations of all the cases that were dropped, and these just go to show the new skins that were added to the economy, and yeah.
you can just look at it here. Yeah, bunch of cases that added, and all of them basically at the end of the day they all become extinct. So the rarity is still a thing. It just doesn't. There's a limited supply for everything. Okay. So in September 27th, CS:GO it migrated toward into CS2, and it all changed because the Source 2 engine changed. And well, the rendering of the physics engine changed how each skin looks. For example, back in uh back in CS:GO, the uh Eagle Prince skin had like a pearly glow, and now they don't anymore. So they lost some of their market share slash value, and their their value decreased overnight. But others, such as the Doppler skins, they become very shiny, and their patterns become very beautiful now, and they become extreme more pricier. And they also introduced the 7-day trade lock, so that it's less your skins are now less liquid, and you can't trade it as fast anymore. So it killed instant cash, and it means that some third party sites had to rebuild, and also trading got much slower. And then uh, new cases and new inventories. Yes. Okay, so there's also new updates in 2024 to 2026. There's a new Armory update which launched charms, and there's an Armory Pass, and those pay to earn cosmetics. So it for those you have really good rate of investment. So if I can show you right now, so for example, right now you have there's this very good website called csroi.com, and as you can see, most of these the return on investment are very, very, very low, and this is something different. Okay, but this, for example, your rate of investment is very, very low. 69.57% of unboxing it, and of your investment is less than what you start with. And but you also have, but if I look at Armory, right, all of these return on investments are basically somewhat positive, because, and the reason because is because you have to play in order to get these rewards. So that's why they're worth more. And back then in the days, you can basically say, oh, there was basically ones that were 200x% and 300x%. So yeah, um, having able to play to get your rewards is a reason some rewards are worth more. Okay, and now there's another skin is a HAL, which is a contraband in skin history, which is basically limited rarity. And the reason why it was because it was a covert M4A4. But the thing is, the person that submitted it, they actually stole the artwork from somewhere. So they had to, freeze it. They had to freeze the artwork, and there was only a few units, and the ones that are like worth more, so it's worth way more, and some of them are worth a bunch of money, and the 4X Titan Holo one reportedly sold for $400,000. So um, this is the most. Oh, sorry. This is the most famous M4A4 skin there is ever. And then next we have the Ops Dragon lore, and the Ops Dragon lore is the esports grail. So this was released only in souvenir packages in the Cobblestone collection. So it's about 1 in 4,000 chance of unboxing it, and only in 2018. And it's very, very rare to get the skin, and there's a very limited supply. And basically, what it's worth is factory new ones are basically worth $500,000 to $1 million for souvenirs, and for a factory new one that isn't one, and number one floor is estimated $100,000. So it's very, very expensive, very, very rare skin. It's the most iconic off skin. Okay, the market cap during this time increased by a lot, and um, it increased from about $200 million from the beginning to all the way to $7 billion today. And the dip right here is in a big update, but that was just only a shock. So yeah, it's okay now. And Valve having such a big marketplace and economy takes a huge cut from every single trade. Skins, in order to get it, you need keys, and keys cost $2.50 each. So Valve makes about $1.16 billion a year from keys. I mean, no, $1 billion from keys alone, only from 2023, and from trading. Well, Valve takes 10% to 5% fee, and that accounts for $166 million a year. So it's huge amounts of money every year that Valve gets from just just existing. But many people don't trade from the Steam market, but what people actually trade on is places like Buff, which has much lower rates than 2.5% and is very Asian market. And there's also Skimport, CS Float, DMark, and Skimbit, which is able to trade your money for real money compared to Steam market, which only gives you like Steam credit. So these are more trading happens here than actually in the Steam market. But they also take fees, and some of them take less. Okay, so here are the list of the most expensive skins on Earth. First, we have the AK-40. Okay, so first we have the ceramic case hardened, the 387 blue gem. So this is worth about $1.5 million to $2 million. Very rare at the time. It was the only one to exist, and it was absolutely wild. I think the one pattern only has about um 3 to 4 skins. Might be more now, but factory new is very, very rare. And then we have the AK-47 factory new, 661. So that's thing sold for $1 million, and it's very, very expensive as well. Yeah. Um, M4A1 Howl plus 4X Titan Holo. So again, very expensive skin plus very expensive stickers, $400,000. Souvenir Op Dragon Lore, $250,000 ish, and there's some that's worth around like $500,000. And these are just normal skins. So this is Ceramic Crimson Web, which is most rare knives are around this pattern money ish. We have the Op Gungnir Factory New, and these are just very, very rare skins that cost $10,000 to $30,000 ish. Okay, so the biggest inventories on the planet are most of them are Chinese traders, and basically what that means is these people are collectors from China um that hoard these skins, and they look for rare skins. So these people are really rich, and they trade on sites that exhibit very, very low fees. Okay. So case investing thesis is, so a lot of people have, and thesis on how you invest. And one good way is investing in cases, because cases are, you know, the backbone of the CS economy. So when the CS economy goes up, you expect cases to also go up. And opening cases is you lose a lot of return. So the ROI is about 60%. So it's very bad. But so what people do is they hold on to cases, and some people have several accounts that hoard on to thousands of cases at once. Yeah. Okay, so I'm at Power 2014. I talked about this before, but basically what they did is that they gambled their skins on the site, and then lost the game on purpose, and they all got banned for 10 years. So, yeah. So yeah, basically that's what happened, and basically after this, iBuyPower disbanded, and their skins were worth, their stickers were worth much more. Okay, so now we have gambling sites. So we have um McSkillet, which is a big CS YouTuber at the time, and basically what he did is he started a gambling site with another YouTuber, and they both had tons of followers. So they were able to um, get a bunch of money due to the influence from their gambling site. Yeah, and then and then someday during this time, Valve made it illegal to make gambling out of their platform and then sent 40 cease and desist letters. Mm-mm. Yeah, and then yeah, cease and desist letters. Okay, now we have modern skin gambling sites. So they're very rich. They're about worth 5 billion plus, and it's kind of like a shadow economy. And there's a lot of scandals that come from this. And the most important ones are, I guess, CS:GO, Roll, Clash.gg, Hellcase, and all of these are, there's like ways that you can gamble your skins away. And what they basically do is they ask a bunch of streamers have to have a gambling sponsorship, and then what they do is they pay them huge sums of money because when their viewers go and come to the sites, they are able to lose a lot and a lot of money, and that basically makes up for the sponsorship. And Oni Pixel once said that sponsorships were offered to pay him more than $1 million a month. So you can expect that to be $10 million now. And Trainwrecks had acquired a third of $1 billion from skin gambling sponsorships and money laundering. So CS:GO skins are definitely worth money, and they're also not tracked by any government interventions. There's no intervention. So basically, there's a bunch of money laundering that can happen, and there's cases where people actually stole money and filed for bankruptcy and then put their money into Counter-Strike skins. And there was one like source of an example of someone. If you don't know, Aiden Ross is one famous streamer found someone on Omegle, which actually had the skins, and well, he got that from the money laundering. I know we have market manipulation. So Counter-Strike skins are much less. There's much less of a market cap than anything else, and all of them have individual caps. For example, EG Holo, there's only a limited supply. So what people did is that they bought in small Discord groups and then they told everyone, oh, everybody, well, this sticker is gonna rise and everyone should buy it. And it because everyone sees that it's rising, they all buy it and it goes up to $400 a sticker when they in reality they bought it to $2 to $8 a sticker, and afterwards they all sell it at the top peak price and then it all goes down. So they were able to manifest a 200x gain and then sell their stickers immediately. Everyday manipulations exist. There's a bunch of counterfeits and scams, but that's less an effect. Most people are able to avoid it. Okay, trade protection. So basically now you can reverse trades after 7 days, and this actually made a lot of cash transactions and made the market cap decrease a lot. And it was due to regulatory pressures, and it is actually a trend right now where Valve is actually throttling under regulatory pressure, and well, we'll be able to see that. So, for example, in 2018, we have gamblers in like Netherlands and Belgium calling them illegal, and then they disable case openings for these users, and then they also have in 2018, yeah, there's 2018 was a big year, and then in 2026, there's also new gambling, regulations in the European Union, in the United States, and because of that, Valve has shifted towards terminals, which are less like gambling and more like X-ray. Yeah, basically, you know what you are getting before you purchase. And okay, so this is a bunch of people that are in the case opener. So Onipixel is for known for skins. He's like the guy that is always obsessing over skins, and he's the guy that's known for gold, trying to get a gold for out of a case. And anomaly is another one. A new bridge is a huge collector. Uh, Richard Lewis is an investigator journalist at I Buy Power. Yeah. So there's a bunch of, and Sparkles is all about skins. He basically does a bunch of content on YouTube about skins and everything. Yeah. So what is CS skin? basically NFTs that you can see in game. It's like luxury goods with gambling. So, and we see a decreasing trend in liquidity, but it's still a feature. And yeah, that's my presentation on CS skins. And I'm gonna show you guys some. I'm gonna play around with a bunch of you know floats and teach you a little bit about skins. On CS float or something. Maybe a little bit later. But for now, uh, I'm gonna peace out. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys a little bit of how it actually works. So right here, this is CS Float, one of the markets, and of course they have a bunch of market items that you can purchase. And for example, this one, the price is amazing actually. Oh no, this is bidding. Sorry about that. So data place we have. Okay, so as you can see, the lower floats. So this is actually a bugged Karambit. So they gave it to him on accident and was duped. So it was an accident. But this is, you see all the floats. The lower the float is, the more new it looks, and therefore the lower floats can sell for more. So okay, so let's search for some of the more expensive items that I was talking about earlier. So for example, let's do AK-47. Okay, let's do Dragon Lore. Right. So as I said before, we had um, Sparkles had the lowest float for off Dragon Lore, and you see this is Sparkles. He crafted it. Means that he traded it up, and we can actually look at what it looks like by testing it in the server, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So, uh, so you guys see, it's able to show you the skin. So okay, it's a little bit too low, but see, this is the Dragon Lore, and I mean, sure, it does look like it's just a PNG, and it's just doesn't look that great, but this skin right here costs more than $100,000. So you have to think of that. It's extremely rare, and that's the reason why it's worth so much. And every gun is the same, no matter what skin it has, but it's just worth more. Okay. Um, so that's a very expensive skin. Okay. And we're gonna test out. Okay, so the howl that I was talking about is, you know, contraband. The contraband. The only contraband is the one I was talking about. And duplicate means that they took it away. Okay, so and what I'm looking for right now is I'm trying to look for some very good stickers. And for example, this one right here. Wow. All right, so this one right here is 4x I by Power Holo, which is absolutely wild. Let's test that out. Wow, you see that? So this is the I by Power sticker I'm talking about right now. See? You see how the stickers are holo? One of these stickers, unapplied, is roughly $80,000 to $120,000. So it's a very expensive sticker, and of course it's still the same gun and everything, but you know it's everybody loves to have skin. So yeah, that's just it. Okay, so and then for AK, the most expensive one is AK Wild Lily. Well, I mean Wild Lotus. Sorry about that. And I'll show you right now how much that costs. AK Wild Lotus. So that thing is around $20,000. Okay, wait, I thought it was $20,000. Maybe this might be wrong. Okay, well it's correct. Yeah, $14,000, which is very expensive AK skin. And right here, of course, you have 4x Dignitas Holo. Each of those are worth around $40,000, and we can test it out in the server. And wow, would you look at that? This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. Amazing skin. You see, okay, you might not understand this, but very, very good design. Okay, so the design is, it just looks very clean. Okay, compared to the other skins, for example, I'll show you maybe AK Slate, which is $20, but it's much less premium looking. AK Slate, that would go around for $20, but that's no. So basically, I would say that the rarity determines how expensive it is. And there's trade-ups as well. And trade-up is basically you use a weapon that is less expensive to get one that is more expensive. And this is great, and it's only black, but you know people pay loads of money for this, and $20 actually, which I mean for a normal skin isn't much. So yeah. Okay, now we look at knives, and before this, knives was used to be much more expensive, but they allowed you to trade five reds into one knife, so it became less expensive. And I want to show you what the Doppler gems I'll talk about. So M9 bayonet, okay, Doppler, right? So if you look at a regular M9 bayonet, right, it's just gonna be like normal. It's gonna not gonna be that clean, and you can look at it. You can look at like Doppler phase two, and what that would look like is, well, okay, this one's a pink one, but what that looks like is it's not very a set color and it's not very clean, but basically, okay, what's and emerald or ruby. So this one's a ruby, right? So if I test this one, like it's purely red. It's purely red. And a lot of people just love to have, this type of knife. And this one could probably go around for, $20,000 plus with the right buyers. And knives are not only the only golds. I will also show you some gloves. So gloves are also extremely expensive. And one of my favorite ones is the crimson kimono. Crimson kimono. And that's, if you want a good pattern. So there's also, oh, shoot. So these gloves have also patterns. So if I looked it up right now, crimson kimono patterns, right? So there's definitely good patterns to it. So all of these patterns look different. Some of them has more red, some of them has less red. So there's like different tiers to it, and people often look for, the highest tiers. So the highest tier is 560, and if I look at 560, you'll see it's mainly going to be, you know, it's probably not going to have any, yeah, there's no factory new for this one. So, but if I test it right now in server, yeah, it's very, so this is what gloves are for. You see, with gloves, it looks much more clean. And if I, had no, how, so I'm just gonna like load up right now and just show you what's a pro like what basically having that. Let's go confirmed. Okay, so these are like the most expensive loadouts I can think of right now. Okay. So the sticker value adds a lot to it as well. So for example, LGB esports is pretty good as well. And if you see right here, this means that they've been VAC banned, which means they have been banned and therefore their skins are frozen. Yeah, they're not able to trade. So, so as you can see, the appeal of having these skins is, it's very shiny and, the shadows and whatever are really appealing to your eyes and they look really cool and all. And like all these, glittering skin, they all look very pretty and such, you know, exactly. So that's the main appeal of it. I mean, first of all, it's rare and also it's, very shiny and pretty looking. And apart from that, there's nothing really much to it. I mean, obviously, it's a complex market with limited supply and everything, but just goes to show, this is all because of the game. Like, if the game died tomorrow, these skins would be worth close to nothing. So yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a few more knives that I feel like are pretty good. So, remember that $1 million karambit I was talking about? So karambit case hardened. So if I look for, okay, Karambit case hardened. Okay. $1 million Karambit. So what pattern? Yeah, so it's the 387 factory new. Okay, 387, 387. So this is the one that they were talking about, and there's only one factory new, and there's only 9 in the world, and one factory new, and it's by this guy, which, if you look, is exactly what I was talking about. Is uh, the collector that hasn't sold it yet, and this is what it looks like. So so the patterns for case hardened are very different, but this one is, you know, if you look on the right side, it's all blue, and that's what collectors love to see, blue gems, and that's what makes a blue gem. And if I look at, any other pattern seed, you're not going to see the same patterns. Um, for example, right here we have the number 1, but it's not going to be, perfect. See, so right here, you see, the colors are different, right? All of them have different colors. See, all of them have different patterns, and you know, so it's very rare to get that 1 in 1,000, blue gem that's perfect, and so that's why it's super expensive. And we also have the AK that does the same thing. So let me search that up as well. AK for AK-47 case hardened, right? So we have the case hardened stat track. Yes. Okay. So this is the item that's very difficult. Yeah. Yeah. So the 661. Yes. 661 searches up. So yeah, see, it's very expensive. There's, few factory new, and this is the one that I was talking about of the 4X Titan Holo. And if you look at it, well, you look at this full blue on the top with the most expensive stickers ever, and yeah, just look at that. Wow, see. So that's what makes it super appealing to, and why it costs $1 million. So the AK by itself is 1 in 1 million, 137 million, and that's extremely rare. So that's, and it's out of a very expensive case as well. So that's why it costs so much. And then the Titan Holo stickers itself cost, around $100,000. So it only makes sense for it to cost that much. Okay, next up we have, Stat Track. So Stat Track, this one is really rare as well. And because it's Stat Track, which means that, you see there's a number tracker on it. And that means it's a 1 in 1. So that's extremely rare. But, okay, so if I didn't use this pattern, then you'll see, right, it's not going to be the same thing. For example, this one right here, definitely not all blue. It's bluish and it's also yellowish, so that's what a normal case harden would look like. And well, if I go into any other case harden, uh, all of them would look somewhat different. Yeah, they all have different pattern indexes, and all of them have different patterns. So yeah. Okay. So each skin is pattern specific. Okay, and then we also have, I want to bring up some very interesting. So there's knife types. So one of the most best knife types is the butterfly knife, and the reason for that is because there's a bunch of, there's butterfly knives are usually like the most, you can play around with it a lot, and see, you can twirl it around. Yeah, you can twirl it around. It makes it very appealing to many. So that's why it's expensive, not just because it's rare, but because everybody likes it. Yeah. Okay. This is the gold arabesque. I'll show you. So this comes out of a souvenir package, and that makes it very expensive. And as you can see, well, this is about $4,000 ish in factory new condition. And yeah, I mean it's gold, and people obviously like it because it's gold, but obviously there's other reasons to it as well. And back then, Pandora box gloves used to be $60,000, and now it's obviously not. But I'll show you, another good loadout. So Pandora. So we have, okay, number one, wow, by Sparkles again. So like I said, so Sparkles is somebody that loves to collect, skins, and so he gets the record for a lot of things, and he actually has a lot of videos on all of it. And we also have, rare patterns for Dopplers. So we have Black Pearl for uh, which is another one for Dopplers. And well, let's just look at the one for Butterfly Knives. Butterfly Knives, yeah. And you'll see that it's very, 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 yeah. Yeah, just take a look at this combination. It's all purple. It's all very, very good looking. Yeah, just wanted to show you guys these rare knives. And if you wanted to look them up right now, so Black Pearl knife, right? So this one is about, $11,000, and we have a normal one. Well, we have Pandora box worth around, $30,000 for the factory new. I mean, before it used to be 60, but this is still a decent amount of money. You can buy a car with that money. Okay, there's also different knife types. You had butterfly, M9. Those are the popular ones, and we also had the karambits, which is also another popular one. I want to show you guys a little bit more. So we have stiletto, and stiletto has less of a selection. So there's but per black pearl. So another one of those is this one. So stiletto. I'll just show you the knife types so you can look at how clean it looks. Oh yeah. So this one, the main part is the snap, and a lot of people love the snap, and the way that people hold the knife is very different. Yeah, so this one would go, a normal one would go around for, close to $300 ish. I would look it up right now. Get that out. Yeah, yeah. So it's about $100 right now, but that's still a lot, loads of money. Um, yeah. And especially, you see, the physics in this game is amazing, which makes skins very desirable. Okay, so, um, so there's some other very expensive skins like Gungnir, which matches kind of with the. I'll show you guys the skins. Just, I'm not like, there's nothing much to talk about it, but I just want to say that it's amazing. Okay, this one is made by um this Russian streamer, who's very rich. Hedge. This one goes for around $20,000. I'm pretty sure for factory kit. And we have emerald. Let's see, emerald. Yeah. So another type of knife, I guess. Okay, so the big three is the bayonet, the butterfly, and the and the stiletto comes in like very close, I guess, in second. But no, yeah, this is very expensive, as you can see. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, all these skins are all very premium prices that goes for a lot of money. All of them very expensive. Yeah, that's my main point right now, right here. So, for example, See, these might look good, but do you think they're worth, $40,000 worth a car? Maybe? No. You don't think so, but they have value and they're pretty liquid compared to, a house. There's definitely collectors looking forward to spot these from you, so you can definitely get pretty decent price from this. And well, yeah, that's basically what I want to say about skins. I'll just show you guys a few more of my favorite skins that I like to look at. Okay. So this is another one of those Stat Track Factory News top ones with the 4X Titan Holo. This one would probably go around. So the skin by itself is worth around, close to 3,000-ish dollars, and these Titan Holos would make it, around close to $200,000 ish. Which is shocking, but it's just how it is. Yeah. I mean, you can't tell this is $200,000. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna look through, just search through more skins that you probably enjoy looking at. Okay, so Wild Lily. There's not much. So this one is very expensive because first of all, people think it looks nice, but also because you know this one you can do something called trade up, and you can trade this up to become a AK Wild Lotus, and that's what people really want, and that's very expensive as well. So that's what people want. Yeah. Okay, so some more, we have 557. 5.7. There's also patterns for every case harder. So we case hardened actually comes from a template that looks like this. So in order to have your blue on the favorite spot, it's very rare actually. So that's why it's super super rare. So okay, let's look for 5.7 blue gem. So this one is worth a lot less. This one is worth a lot less because first of all, well, it's not that rare. It's only a restricted skin, and but it's still pretty expensive compared to the normal one. And I will show you what it looks like right now. So again, 3x Titan holder. That's very very expensive, and it's going for around thousands of dollars right now. You know, what do you know? It looks amazing. Oh, I thought it's Titan Hollow. Ah, yes. See, so another more stickers on it as well. So that's yeah, that's why it's so. Yeah, this one will probably go around for close to $30,000-$40,000 ish. Just marvel this at this one. Okay, so more trade ups. So Op Asimov. Oh. So this one is also a very iconic skin, and it's only available in field tested and below. But I just want to show you what it looks like because I mentioned it in my slideshow. Sorry, it's taking a little bit. Okay, well, uh, I guess I made my point. Well, skins are expensive, they're rare, they look pretty, and that's about it. Thank you for watching.